I've heard you mention geofencing a particular venue for marketing. The smallest radius possible on Facebook or Meta is 1 mile. How can I narrow that to a particular venue like a sporting event? So this actually, I think, is a really great question. And I brought up the idea of, if you wanted to do marketing in your particular area for a local sports team or a local professional sporting event, you could potentially narrow it down to where you're doing marketing right in that venue. So right in that stadium, you're going to do marketing during the times of the day that people are in that stadium. So what this person's saying is they understand that, and it sounds like a good idea to them, but the smallest radius you can do with Facebook is 1 mile. So if you drop a pin, if let's say you're in a downtown area and you're trying to market to people that are watching a professional baseball game, and you drop a pin right on the address of the baseball stadium and you draw a mile in a downtown venue, that's still a pretty big area. You're catching a lot of people outside the stadium that you don't want to catch because that radius is a mile. So the question is, how do you get it down to where it's just hitting the baseball stadium and not the 1 mile radius, or not all those extra people outside that stadium? It's a great question, and there's sort of a workaround. There's not an easy way to do it, but I'm going to explain to you exactly step by step how you do that. So the first step, I actually have a visual here. The first step is to actually get the address of the venue and drop a pin. So when you go into targeting and it asks you where the location is, you're going to put in the address of the actual venue. And then you're going to take that, you're going to do a radius target, and you're going to drop that radius down to a mile. So now you're going to have a pin on the venue, and you're going to have a 1 mile circle around it. Then what you're going to do, Facebook allows you to actually drop what is called exclusionary pins. So you can actually go in and put a pin down and say, I don't want to market to anybody in this circle. So you have areas you're trying to target, those are circles, and then you have areas that you don't want to target, which are called exclusionary pins. So this is how you get to a mile. So I'm going to show you this, and I'm hoping that you guys can see it. So this black circle represents a pin right on the venue with a 1 mile radius around it. Now, everywhere around that, you can see I have red. You might not be able to see the different colors, but you see that there's a bunch of other radiuses around that. Those are actually exclusionary radiuses. So what I've done is I have systematically dropped pins around the stadium and did an exclusionary. And what that does is it leaves the only area that's really targeted is these areas in the main circle that are not excluded. So what you can do by playing around with this is you can actually shrink that down to where the only thing that's not excluded within your main circle is just the block that the sporting event or the sports stadium is on. I'm hoping this makes sense to you, because this is a really tactical thing that you can do in a lot of areas to market a very particular event. Let's say there's a convention going on in your town, like a home show, and you don't want to exhibit at the home show, but you're like, man, the people that are attending a home show would really be a good audience to reach. You can do this around the venue that the home show is at, and just target, and there's a selection in Facebook to say people that are in this area, not people that live in this area. It's very important that you select the option when you're doing your audience. It's right there to say people that are in this area and not that don't live in this area. So it's people that are actually attending or in that geographic area. So basically, let's use the home show example. People over a 4-day period are coming into this convention hall to go to this home show. You could say, I want to target people that are in this area for these 4 days. And then you can run ads against it. So if people are in that venue and they're looking at Facebook or Instagram, your ads are going to show up, and you're targeting a very small area because you're only targeting people that are at that home show. Or a sporting event, we talked about that. Let's say that you happen to own a restaurant that is right adjacent to the stadium, and you want to run a special so that as people leave the game, that they maybe come and have a meal at your place, and say that you offer free first drink with the order of a meal or half off appetizers or whatever the case may be. for the 3 hours of that baseball game, you can drop a circle with the exclusionary circles around it and just market to people that happen to be at that sporting event, so that if they're there, they're watching the game, they're scrolling Facebook or Instagram, they're seeing your ad saying, hey, I hope you're enjoying the game. If you're looking for a place to eat or grab a drink after the game, here's our address. And if you come in with your ticket stub or whatever, we'll give you your first drink for free or 50% off an appetizer, something like that. So this allows you to really get hyper local and really do some very targeted advertisement in a way that you can't normally. A lot of people get thrown off by the 1 mile radius. And again, hopefully you can see if you do the 1 mile radius and then draw exclusionary circles around it, you're going to have the opportunity to just target the area that you want to. This is a really good technique, a really good strategy that I don't think a lot of people really understand how to do. So hopefully this made sense. If you have any follow-up questions or things like that you want to ask about this, please let me know, because again, without doing a screen share and walking you through exactly how to do this, which I might have to do at some point, it could be a little bit difficult to understand. But if you're familiar with the back end of Facebook Ads Manager, this should all make sense, and you should be able to create an ad that does this. And I think it could be really beneficial for a lot of you. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for the question.